Please stand by. Technical difficulties. There we go.
I hope you can hear me.
Okay, well, now they definitely will. I know that. That's the least of our concerns.
Okay, testing 1, 2.
Okay.
Hey, okay. Now.
Okay. So let's start over with you talking about your person your life and what's going on right now.
Right now, honestly, I've just been gaming. This pandemic has been.
We'll start from the beginning. You're 21 years old from Toronto. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, you want to go like that? They meant now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 21 years old. I'm from Toronto. I took a course at Sheridan College called Community and Justice. So basically, my end goal with that is to help LGBT youth in particular and youth in the justice system.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So before we get into all the bad stuff, let's talk about your childhood. And okay, you sound distant, but you can hear her, so that's fine. That's fine. As long as you can hear her and you can understand her right now, that's fine. So let's talk about your childhood. Like I said, I
had a pretty good childhood. I mean, as you know, there was some problems with being on the lower income side of, reality. But I did grow up playing a lot of sports all through up until high school. Really, I played a lot of softball. Softball is literally my passion. I played for soccer, football, basketball. Was on the volleyball team for a while. Led us to some championships.
Might I add, you're feigning
all over the place.
You're feigning modesty here, but I remember in was it grade 6 that you were on 3 championship teams and the finalist of the 4th in 1 year.
Yeah, it was one of those. I think it was actually grade 8.
Was it grade 8?
Yeah, grade 8.
It was volleyball,
soccer, hockey.
Hockey was the final. You didn't win. You got the finalist.
We came in second. Yeah, we came in second for that. You're just flipping the bird to everyone there, aren't you?
They can't see that. I'm frozen.
Oh, football too.
Okay.
Yeah, and soccer. And then in high school, we kept on coming in second. One tournament we did came in first. That tournament was the Memorial for Nikki, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
But yeah, and I ended up actually captain in my last year of high school. I was captain of the softball team for varsity, and that was fun. Yeah, and then I played more competitively on my free time for Brampton.
Right. And yes, jokers, yes, she's 21 years old, and yeah, she's been in sports all her life. Like whenever, like she came to visit me, and we'd always be kicking the soccer ball around, like outside, or when I came to your place, it'd be hockey or soccer or basketball.
I remember basketball. You always took me to the park, and then I would try to kick your ass.
Yes.
I'm a very short person, so he would just bounce the ball like right over me. I'd be trying to jump. It was embarrassing, but you know what? I had fun.
But her soccer, okay, sorry. Jokers is from England, so sorry. Her football skills were really good with her feet. I have to say, like she did very well in keeping the ball away from me. I have to say.
Still can.
Well, yeah, my knee. Come on now.
Hey, volleyball. I love volleyball. I was setter in high school for it.
Yeah.
Ended up breaking both my arms the day before my volleyball tournament in grade 10, and I actually had to stop playing because of it.
Was that the running in the wall incident?
We weren't going to go into specifics, but yeah.
Yes.
The day before my volleyball tournament.
Yes, they had an award for one of those trampoline parks. And they had a race to the end of the gym, and she went all out and put both wrists right into the wall. Broke both wrists.
Broke my braces, fell unconscious, had to be wheelchaired out, go to the hospital, had to reset my wrists. And now I have a bone that's not attached in my hand. Oh, what a
Yep.
time.
No, that's okay, Jokers. Yeah, we'll say. Well, that's the sports end of our discussion anyway. It's just yeah. She was a huge athlete when she was younger, and into music as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember that.
I love music. I got into piano and keyboard at an early age, very early age.
Yeah.
It was kind of just easy. I've learned guitar recently. I mean, I'm not the best. I know like the good basic chords.
Joker says you can bench lift him.
Maybe I would like that. Like I'll take that as a challenge. But the muscles with the thighs.
Yeah, she's more her legs.
Oh,
She can out squat
legs,
you for sure.
man. But yeah, got into guitar. Love guitar. Grew up playing trumpet actually in music class. I played trumpet, clarinet, and flute. Not very good at flute though, but
yeah,
that's a different story.
And then there was singing.
Oh yes, of course. The one thing I'm really known for. So yes, I after some trauma, I got into a youth group at a church I started going to called The Uprising, where we would perform all the time. We would go to different churches. We were supposed to sing at like a NASCAR thing in Toronto.
Indy.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Um,
Toronto, we have the Indy. We don't have the NASCAR. But anyway, gotta get it right for the
race car
Americans that are watching this. They're
driving.
passionate about their auto racing.
We were actually supposed to go to Guatemala to do a missions trip, and we held a whole concert for it. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, poor wording on there. Fortunately, in a way, my choir teacher had a child. That's why wrong choice of words there.
Yeah. Well, you skipped right ahead of because I was just talking about you at home singing your Hannah Montana and Cheetah Girls.
I still do that. Hannah Montana, still do it.
The best of both worlds and all that fun stuff. So you'd say you had a. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, say my life's a whole musical. I sing everything I do.
Yeah, best of both worlds. Yes, that's right. Anyway, yeah. So you would say your childhood up until the age of 14 was pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean, I suffered from depression. I've learned that when I was 8, and anxiety. But other than that, like I was always outside playing with tech decks and Lego. Doing kid things, pretending I was a spy. My bike was my horse, like normal kid things.
Yeah, and I remember and just uh, alert that there's nothing bad about this. But when she was younger, she always liked to fight me.
Yeah, I love fighting. Okay,
she would actually jump onto my bed no matter when I was there, and she'd start wailing on me, trying to do choke holds and all that fun stuff.
WWE from an early age.
That's right. I said nothing strange going on between man and child. Don't worry.
I was strictly play fighting, trying
to take me down. Yeah, then I'd just pick her up and slam her onto the bed.
Yeah, parents hated it because like I would go home and then beat up my brothers all the time.
And then I did the same to them, and then they beat you up.
They tried.
Tried.
Keyword tried.
That's right. All right, so let's tone things down a bit, and let's talk about. It's hard for me to talk about as well, but June 8th, 2014. And,
so yeah, that 14 was where stuff really started happening.
So let me pray for a second before you start talking about it. We received a call around 3:00 in the morning of June 8th. A call from BLACKMOON's mother, saying that our grandson, BLACKMOON's brother, was missing. He was staying over at a friend's house, and that building was on fire. And we didn't know where he was at that time, whether he got out and ran off, or went hiding or where he was. We had no idea. That's what we understood. So of course as soon as we found out, we went over and uh, went to them and to find out what was going on and everything. And if you'd like to talk about your side of the story, Black Moon.
I remember everything to the T. I remember the time I woke up. I remember my dad coming into the room. He like gave me Nathan, my youngest brother, told me to watch him. At the time, I just woke up. I was having a sleepover with my cousin Jewel. Um, but yeah, and then I was like, what's going on? And he's like, Nikki's missing. I looked outside, saw the whole building in flames. I started freaking out. I ran outside. I tried to get into the building to go save him, but I couldn't. And then I tried to call all my friends, but no one was picking up, and I felt so alone because like I couldn't, I didn't want to put this on my parents because Nikki was missing. But then I got a hold of my one friend, Juniper, and they came and actually helped. And then a couple of like other kids from the neighborhood came and helped me, tried to distract me, but I was just freaking out. And then around 8 that day, the police pulled my family into this place called The Journey and told them with these words that they found his body. I freaked out. I said, I'm gonna fucking kill him. I got up so fast. I tried to run out.
Let's stop. Let's pause. Sorry, let's pause because you're saying you want to kill him, but we don't know. We didn't tell anyone why. What actually happened? So let me do that.
Oh yeah.
The place where he was staying at the father. It was just the father there, correct? With the kids.
Yeah. So it was the father, Nikki's friend, which was his son, and then his daughter and her two friends.
Right. And we have to say allegedly. The story was that he decided to cook a deep fry, some French fries, at 2:30 in the morning, whatever it was, and then he passed out on the couch, leaving the deep fryer on and causing the fire. And said everyone else got out except for Black Moon's brother.
Yeah, the only way they knew about it was because of his son coming down asking for a glass of chocolate milk. And that's when they noticed the fire. Got everybody out, but he didn't make it out.
Right. And and again, allegedly, he had alcohol on his breath. Yeah. But legally they weren't allowed to do a breathalyzer because he wasn't driving and he was in the privacy of his own home. So legally they weren't allowed to do that. But I said allegedly there was alcohol involved. So
yeah,
shows the irresponsibility of a man who was taking care of 4 children at the time alone. But yeah, so talk a little bit more about events afterwards, please.
But yeah, so like I said, they pulled us into the journey, told us about finding his body. I had a little, breakdown. Then I ran out and I ran. I don't know where I was going or what my mind, I don't know what I was thinking about. I was just like, I'm going to kill him. Like, he just took my brother from me. Now I just want him to hurt. That was all I was saying, like thinking into my head as I was running to, I can't even remember where.
Right.
I was just gone. Never ran so fast in my life.
I understand. I mean, I was in shock, basically, with me. Like,
yeah.
I was. I don't think I was able to cry at that time. I was just, like I said, I was just more in shock and of course, consoling my wife, your grandmother, and everything.
Yeah, I was just. Angry.
But I was angry about that too. I think all of us really wanted to do something bad to this guy for being so irresponsible.
That, anger turned into a lot of things.
Okay, well, we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah,
it was the iceberg definitely the iceberg.
Yeah, yeah, that started that sort of well, it sort of started both of our spirals downwards at that time. It was because 6 months prior, I had lost my mother
Yeah.
to cancer, so I was already sort of on that spiral. And then when this happened, and then I had another death 3 weeks later, and yeah, it was just it was a really bad time for our family in general.
It was, yeah.
And the fact that also it was the day before your parents' anniversary too.
Yeah, and now they don't really celebrate that day. Now they just celebrate like when they, I think, got engaged or together or something like that.
I think it was the day they met. I think.
Yeah, that's their
Right.
anniversary they celebrate now.
So we're talking about this, and that's how that's actually how you got into being a part of the journey and the uprising
Oh
was
yeah,
because
most
of this
definitely.
incident. Because let's be honest, without the journey and the church, like that, they did a lot for the community and the family at that time.
They really did. Huge shout out to them. Excuse me. Because yeah, I was in a really bad place, and that was my only safe zone that I had, that I felt safe, and I couldn't get up to my
It's
antics as a
I just want to get it
teenager.
right. It's the North Bramley United Church.
Yes, North Bramley United Church.
Yes.
They act like they run the journey. The journey is a community center, and that place did save me from myself.
How would you say they did that?
Well, that summer, I won't get into it now. We can talk about that
Yep.
later. But a lot of I did some messed up stuff. But then I got into the journey and I started helping out with like the after school programs. There was like every Wednesday it was just a group of us teenagers just hanging out and just chilling, talking, eating snacks, and they had like some peer mentors coming in, which is how I got into the college I did, was through them. But yeah, and then there was a day camp that I knew what I wanted to do, was that running that day camp that I did.
Right. Since you were 14, you knew that was your calling, was to help youth.
Yes, it was. But
Not
the
no nothing
traffic.
specific with the youth at that time.
Yes, it was just the youth,
Yeah.
especially with lower income youth and children with like mental illnesses that they were dealing with and struggling with.
Right.
And just like the environment of where the journey is located, at the time it was going through a lot. Like there was a child that lost their life due to a drug deal. There was another
Right.
child that lost their life to getting struck by lightning.
Oh yeah,
There was a
I forgot about
bunch
that
of
one.
tragedies running on that street, and so North Bramley United Church was like, we need to help this community. They
Yeah.
put in the journey to help like do stuff for the youth. Like the day camp, it was $10 a week, and it was for children whose families couldn't afford to get them to go to camp. Because like every child wanted to go to camp,
Of
it
course.
was like the thing that got away from their families where they can go canoeing and all that. Like we didn't have all that, but it was a place where children can go to be children.
And
I
that's
eventually,
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and I eventually ended up coordinating that, and I loved it. I was working with a lot of children who, well, like one had fetal alcohol syndrome. There was a kid who was on the spectrum for autism that a lot of people couldn't, they didn't understand. So I was one of the people that, I could figure out a way to, to learn more about them in a sense. Because, everyone's different. Everyone has different needs, right? And
Right.
I loved learning all of them and getting to know the children because they're like really smart children who just didn't have the access to what other kids do.
Exactly.
And I loved being able to help them with that. So
Yeah,
that was
because
my journey on that one.
I've said you lived there a long time And I know
Yeah.
whenever I came to visit, and all I ever saw was just the kids just sort of running around and around your building complexes. Not really anything to do other than just in that little small area of concrete. Like there really
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of grass. I mean, you had yards, but they were very small. So
Yeah,
there
we had
wasn't.
like a pathway. That's where I hung out as a
That's what I
kid,
mean. The
but
pathway was just a
it was a
concrete thing,
laneway, right? Like there wasn't much we
and it
could
was
do.
cracked concrete. So even playing, hockey or whatever was hard because it was such uneven ground and cracks and holes in the concrete. And
Skateboarding was the worst. I used to skateboard a lot, and that was, oh my god, rocks are like the worst enemy for a skateboard, I swear. And there was a lot of them.
not if you're good.
Man, I didn't even think like Tony Hawk could like go over those rocks, man. It was bad.
He would have ridden the fences right across.
True, he would have ridden the fences.
All right, so yeah, so after your brother's passing, talk yeah, let's talk about how you felt afterwards. Before you got the help from the church and the downward spiral you got into.
Well, so I'm talking about the downward spiral?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, to start off, I ended up building a lot of anger towards everyone around me, even though it was actually directed at myself. It was always why, right? And sometimes you don't get that answer. But I stopped, like, I was just picking fights with everybody, like getting to actual physical altercations just for the way they looked at me. I stopped eating for a while because I was like, I started worrying about my weight, and I was like, I need to lose weight. And that was, I stopped eating like that. If I did eat, I would either chew it up and spit it out just so I didn't have to ingest it. And then I dropped weight like crazy. And then unfortunately, I felt really happy about myself. But at the same time, I was like, I need to maintain this or lose more. So then I dropped weight and became, skin and bones, and was very unhealthy looking. It was very unhealthy of me.
Right.
But then I started getting into drugs, specifically ecstasy and codeine. Codeine was the worst for me. I was taking almost a bottle a day. It was extremely bad. Ecstasy. I didn't do it as often, but it was more often than I'd like to admit. Especially because I met some really negative people, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of feeling. I just want to stop feeling. And they were like, hey, here, take this. This will cheer you up. And I took it and then started hanging out with them more, started taking it more. Um, yeah, I just started spiraling and started relying, especially on codeine. It was a tough time. And that was basically. Oh, I also got into drinking. I don't know if you know that.
I did.
But yeah, I got heavily into drinking at the age of 15. Started drinking before school, started drinking during school, and I do not condone that at all. That please don't. It's a serious issue that is going around. Addiction is a disease, and it's not talked about enough.
Yeah. Before you continue, I forgot beforehand to post a trigger warning
Oh yes,
about we're talking about drug use. We're going to talk about death, which we already have, but we'll be talking about it more, and suicide. So we're going to be talking about all that. So yeah. So please, if you're in any danger whatsoever, please don't uh, listen, or if like be warned that we are going to be talking about these things.
And if you're feeling any type of negative thoughts, please contact a helpline. You can do it through text now, or you can call, message a friend or something. You are not
Or
alone. I want
message
to point that
us,
out. Yes, we're always open.
please.
Like,
Yes.
if
Anyone
you
who
need
has
us,
any
just let us
feelings,
know.
please, you can right here in the chat or whisper me. We're here. I'm on Twitch almost 24/7, almost, other than sleeping. So if you have any, if you need a friend, you need to talk to, please either me or Black Moon, we're always here for you.
And sometimes talking to strangers can help.
Yeah.
Some of them have really great advice and are very wise. But yeah.
So sorry, you're continuing about the drug use. Yes.
Yes, and then at 16, I actually went to the hospital due to, and this was another trigger warning, due to a suicide attempt. Because I have been dealing with that for quite a while. My first attempt was actually at the age of 12. So, that's a young age, but
can we talk about that, because we said your childhood was normal leading up to the death, and now you're saying at 12 years old you had suicidal thoughts.
Like I said before, I started noticing about the depression at the age of 8. I also had terrible anxiety, so if there's family functions, I would either wait till my cousin Jewel was there because I relied on her, or I would literally stay in the car the whole time because my anxiety was so bad.
Or if I was there, I found.
Yeah, like I had to know someone and had to have a really close connection in order for me to go to even a family function.
Right.
Like I had terrible anxiety, and the depression was getting there. At the age of 12, because I was bullied, I attempted to take my life. But Nikki, he's actually the one that stopped me. He came into the room and he asked me what I was doing, and I said nothing. He started crying because he noticed what I was doing.
Right.
And that's why I stopped there, because I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this to him, especially with him right there.
Right.
But yeah, then I get tempted at 16 because it was just rough. High school, man, it's rough. I ended up losing all my friends because of that. Like all of them.
Right.
And then I told them about my drug use, and then they actually ended up treating me there for it. So I had to get drug tested every Monday, get blood work done every Monday while I was in there. I eventually got out and I stopped with the ecstasy. I was still taking codeine, but ended up going back a month later because I had a mental health worker named Paul. He noticed it, so he came to my school once a week to talk about how I was feeling. He read my notebook, and he was like, "Hey, can you please go back? This, you need some extra help, and we can talk to the school. We can, because exams are coming up, and we got you." And I was like, "I guess so. Why not?" Went back. Made some pretty cool friends, honestly. Yeah. Sorry, it's just sometimes it's a little hard to talk about.
Understood. Take your
time. Ended up getting released, and then a month again I went for the final time. Got diagnosed with the PTSD. That was when I got diagnosed with PTSD. And then I realized, because I was having constant nightmares that interrupted my sleep, flashbacks, and it was starting to affect my daily life, because it would happen at school, it would happen when I went to the mall, the library, which didn't help the way I was feeling already. But yeah, I got diagnosed with PTSD when I was 16.
Right.
And I didn't have any friends because they didn't understand mental health.
To be fair, but when you're it's only been recently where people have been very open about uh, mental health. I think in Canada, I think the Let's Talk Days just started around 5 years ago, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's definitely not talked about enough. The mental health, at least in Ontario, it's not the best. It's very hard to see some people. For example, I was diagnosed with BPD at 14. I'm sorry, 18. I don't know why I said 14.
Let's say what the full thing for
that's
that.
borderline personality disorder.
Right.
I have never heard of it until I was diagnosed with it. It's a very complex disorder. It gets commonly mistaken with bipolar, but it's a lot more complex than that. It can be hereditary, but it's also caused by trauma. So like some of the things are, abandonment issues. A big thing is splitting. I still deal with that all the time. Splitting is black and white thinking. So if something negatively goes wrong, my mood goes like that.
Everything is negative to you.
Yes, everything will go negative. There's not one positive thing that will run through my mind, and I'll pick fights with ever. Yeah, it's very also stigmatized. Like I remember when I was in college, there was a professor that was like, if you know someone with BPD, don't get into a relationship with them. They're so manipulative. And she was just going off. And I was like, that is not at all BPD. No. BPD, it does go hand in hand with anxiety and depression. But yeah, the mood goes like that. If anything, we love too hard. Like we love a lot. Like when we fall in love with someone, we fall in love. Right? Our emotions, they say, are like 10 times, the amount of like an average person would feel.
Yeah, it's extreme highs and extreme lows.
Yes, exactly. So when I was angry, I was angry. My mom used to say it was like a demon took over. And when I was happy, I felt like I was on top of the world. Yes, that's another thing. I do experience that a lot. The whole flip side, like fall out of love and get bored. That is also a downfall.
Okay, so we're talking about your drug abuse, alcohol abuse. Let's talk, and you're getting your help through the hospital and the counselor there. So let's go back to the singing and the journey and the uprising, and because this is about when you actually got serious about that, and sort of helped you along the way as well.
Oh yeah. At 16, as I joined the uprising. I've always been afraid of performing or singing. Even if anyone caught me singing, I would like hide. I would run away and hide, or I would stop. No one ever heard me sing. But my friend Quinn heard me sing, and right after Nikki passed, and he was like, "You got a really good voice." And I was like, "No, I don't." Like I was so insecure about that, and I was embarrassed that he heard me. And then we went to the church. I can't remember for what, but he told the pastor, because of the group that was performing was the uprising, and he was like, "Peyton's got a wicked good voice. Like you should hear her sing." And then my choir teacher came up and she was like, "I heard you got a voice. Let's hear it." And then I was like, "Oh no, this is going to be embarrassing." But yeah, I sang for her, and she was like, "Are you free every Sundays, between 9 and 11 to come rehearse with us?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll join." And then, yeah, I started performing with them, and my confidence always went up. I loved it. I love performing now. I still get, terrified. Even on stream, when people get me to sing, I'm like, "Oh no, this is terrifying."
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I love it. I wish I could sing everything all the time, but I know I might annoy people eventually.
Yeah, you have that thing on Twitch where you have to sing like a musical, and
It's hard when you're trying to make it a musical. I'll give it that, because I'm like, how am I supposed to sing this in tune? And then everything sounds the same. But I'm like, if I wasn't aware that someone wanted me to do this, I would probably do it. Like I'll be like doing the dishes, and I'll be like, washing dishes. I'm washing them all day long. Like just stuff like that.
Yeah,
I sing everything.
that's awesome. So on top of the journey, sorry, I keep saying the journey, the uprising was right around the time when actually Days of Inspiration started.
Yes, it was. And then you were like, "Wow, she has a wicked cool voice. Yeah, I'll let you sing for us." Wow, that was a struggle.
Yeah, in 2015 was with 2014 was our first event that we did in Atlanta. You were not part of that. And then 2015, you helped me, but there was no singing at that event. It was the 2016 event that you did 3 songs there.
Yes, and that's when I started getting a lot more serious with my singing because, we're raising money to go to Guatemala.
Right.
And so we had to do concerts. We had to travel to like other churches and perform there too. So I was starting to get more comfortable with it, with the whole performing aspect.
Right. And and then after that, we didn't do any live events just because of circumstances and such. We were planning one for
Yeah.
2020, and COVID started. So we're hoping to get back on the road soon with that.
Yeah.
Coming to a town near you, as they say.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, North Carolina will be our first one whenever that happens, and upstate New York will be another one that's going to be shortly after. That's the next 2 planned. But okay, so let's talk a little more into the future here. We're going back into college years, and you said you were studying criminal justice.
Community and justice.
Yes, talk a little bit about that, please.
The first year was great. I loved it. I was very close with my professors because I actually met 2 of the professors through the journey.
Actually, before you continue, I actually want to bring up the fact that why did you get into criminal justice in the first place? There's a specific reason,
my dream originally was to become a homicide detective.
right?
Because I don't know how to word this right, but I had such a fascination with like murder.
Right.
Don't know how to word that the best, but yeah, I was just fascinated, and I really wanted to learn more about the brain of someone, that
Serial
has
killers
done the
and
crime.
yeah,
Yeah. Like, was it nature versus nurture? Why did they do it? Was it because they were bored? Was it because, it was over jealousy, like emotion? Like, it's so complex, and
or
there's
just a
always.
brain overload.
Exactly. There is a reason for it, but it's different for everybody. And I was just so fascinated with that I was like, I want to be a homicide detective and solve these. Like, that would be really cool, and it would help people.
And wasn't there a promise?
Yes. Well, that was also to do with the military. With Nikki, when we were 10, we made a promise to each other that we would join the army together. I would be on the ground, infantry and stuff, and I actually joined cadets because of it. And he would be in the air for like, flying a helicopter.
Air Force, such, yes.
Yeah. But he's like, I want to fly a helicopter. And so, we made that promise, but unfortunately, I didn't go for the military because, things changed. But that was my dream job at the age of 10, all the way up until high school.
Part of being wanting to be a police officer in any sense was also because of that promise.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so talking about your college again. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's all good. But yeah, so I applied for Sheridan College because it was my dream school because they had a police foundations, but I ended up going for community and justice, which is a program that's for the justice system, for like parole officers or corrections and just stuff like that. It was a very, very broad program, and it was amazing because we all learned it's essentially the same thing, but we all learned it differently because our dreams are all different.
Right.
And I love that. Like we all were there for different things. I was there because I learned that I wanted to work with youth in the justice system. So I work either in a correctional facility, although they are trying to take that away because it's about rehabilitation into society, like rehabilitation and reintegration with society. And people were there because they wanted to be a probation officer or work in a jail. But that was my dream after because I just want to help the youth that can't speak for themselves.
Right.
Because there's so many reasons as to what happened and why they did what they did. Some people do it because they met some negative people, like negative influences in their life. Some do it because of environment. Like there's children who, steal food because they have nothing else. right? Or their parents are never home, so they go out, meet bad people, hang out with them because they don't have the attention that they need from like a parental figure. Like there's so many different reasons as to why people do what they do, especially with youth who are vulnerable. Yeah, sorry,
No, that's good. No, that's great. All right, so let's talk about personal life a little more, and uh, we were talking a bit. Well, I've talked in the past about the LGBT community, and you are a member of that community.
Yes.
When did you figure that out? That
Well, I had my suspicions at like 9 because of Lava Girl from Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah, okay, I remember her.
Yeah, so I started having my suspicions, but it wasn't until I was 14 that I really accepted myself. All because I read a lesbian book and I was like, wow, I like that rather than,
Mm-hmm.
heterosexual books. It felt more me, right? I saw myself as that person. And then
Yes.
I was like, okay, yeah, this is who I am. And then I told my friends, told you, um, came out, experimented, all that jazz, teenage stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I started really accepting myself when I was 14. Oh,
I
and then
mean,
I started a GSA.
like even before you officially came out, like I know I was one of the first ones you came out to. I know that, but if you all you had to do was look on your Facebook, you're Mrs. Bieber, and then you were Mrs. Chase, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you were Mrs. Haregi.
oh, Lauren Haregi. Yeah, she is my hello and welcome. We're talking about Lauren Haregi, my idol. I idolize her. I really do. She is a LGBT activist.
And those who don't know, she is a member of Fifth
Right.
Harmony.
She was a member of Fifth Harmony. But yeah, she has played a big role in my life and helped me become who I am. Like they did a song called Brave, Honest, Beautiful. Terrific song, and it's all about like empowering yourself. Like you are brave, you are beautiful, and you are honest. And they had Shakira on it too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was that song, like that band. They're all about like female empowerment, which is wonderful to see. And having like a member who I look up to the most, like I think she's a goddess. Also being like, you know what, we need justice in the world. We need, you know, activism. Like this has to change for the better of the people,
Let's be honest.
especially minorities.
Let's be honest. We need more compassion.
Exactly. The world, it's a hateful place, but also there are people in there that do make the world a better place. And I'm not just talking about like celebrities or anything. Like there are people out there who will help a dog off the street because it has no home.
Right.
Like there's people out there that do have so much compassion, and we need more people like them.
Agreed.
Anyone can do it.
I was about to say that, Waterman. I was about to say that. Like you.
Oh, thanks, guys.
So anyway, so
You're awesome.
you're in the LGBT community, and you've had a couple of relationships.
Yes. I
We won't
wasn't
mention
the
any names of the
best.
first
Yeah, I
one.
won't message. Oh my god. I won't
It's okay.
mention the names. I wasn't the best partner in the past because again I got into a lot of bad things that changed who I was.
And if I know correctly, she was going through her own issues as well. So the two of you with
Oh yeah,
your
that was
issues
like
was
her
across.
serious relationship. Yeah, it ended up being a very unhealthy and toxic relationship on both ends.
Right.
We weren't on the same wavelength at all. It was very toxic. There was a lot of jealousy and trust issues. A lot of I lost myself, and she did too. We both lost ourselves in this relationship. And it got to the point we were saying nasty things about each other. Like, it was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
And so, we ended up breaking up, and then I fell into another dark hole. It was to the point where my drinking came back. It was a lot worse. I was drinking constantly drunk from the minute I woke up to when I went to bed. And I would still wake up, drunk. I was spending hundreds of dollars a week on alcohol. Yeah, you lose yourself, right? Like, drinking isn't me, right? It's same with everyone. It's not them.
Yeah.
And then I also got really into weed. Like, I wasn't allowed to smoke it anymore. It's also legalized here. I would like to point that out.
Yes, it is legal in Canada.
Yes, as long as you're of age. But I also started, buying bongs left, right, and center, and, paraphernalia all the time. I started getting back into shrooms. But then that summer, honestly, I changed my hair color. I cut my hair, started dyeing my hair. Like, I look like a mermaid. I got piercings. I got a spacer. But honestly, I started feeling more myself. I was like, you know what? I am a lesbian. I have tattoos. I'm covered in them. I have piercings. But this is who I am. And I shouldn't have been in a relationship with someone who couldn't accept that.
Even though she was a lesbian herself.
Yes. Well, no, not the whole sexuality thing, but there was times where, like, my weight was commented on.
Right.
Or I wasn't allowed to wear certain things.
Right.
But, I stopped the drinking and I just started feeling myself. I was going to the beach. I did lose weight on my own accord. It wasn't because, she commented on it.
Right.
But I started feeling so much more confident after that. I learned more about myself. And, I had a great support system. Like, my one friend, the one advice that she told me, she's like, everyone comes into your life for a reason, and they always teach you one thing. And the one thing that she taught you was that you can love someone. Because I had horrible commitment issues. I thought I couldn't love anybody. I thought that no one could love me.
Right.
But I learned that I could love someone else. And then I took the time for myself, and I didn't, go out and relationship hop. I just took it to myself. And then, I met Megan, and that was such a healthy relationship. I trusted her completely. She trusted me. Our communication was fantastic. It was literally the happiest I've been ever. And I learned more about myself, and I learned from her that someone could love me, that I am lovable, and I can do what I want when I want, as long as I'm not harming myself. Because, I was harming myself, all through my teenage years with, again, trigger warning, the drugs. I was also self-harming constantly.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm actually only a couple months clean, but, I'm a couple months clean.
Right.
About 5 years as of last February, from ecstasy and codeine. So I'm on a better path now.
Yes. So you mentioned Megan all of a sudden, and we didn't really talk about her previously. First, talk about your relationship with her before we go into the deeper stuff.
We met through a dating app, but I used to be that type of person that, it's gonna sound really bad, but would meet someone, and I did get bored, and I would move on to the next person.
So you were a hoe. Let's be honest. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
I mean, after that toxic relationship, as you say, didn't feel that you could be loved, so you slept around. That's how you dealt with it.
I got bored of them, not because of them. I was just bored with myself, I guess. Like, yeah, I admit I was bored with myself. But I met her.
It's an inside joke, Superman. It wasn't meant to be derogatory.
I'm very open about everything. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, she was the one. She was my perfect. She had a lot, going on, but she was my perfect.
Yeah.
We had a future. Um, she supported everything I do. She was like, when I told her I want to start streaming, she was like, yeah, go for it. I'll watch every one of your streams. And, she watched majority and even joined in on some. She wasn't a gamer, but I lent her my Switch and she spent hours and hours playing Rocket League so she can beat me. Right? But I knew I could be happy and I could be myself because when I first met her for the first time, I wore what I normally wore: basketball shorts and a baggy tee.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to dress up because I'm like, I've been talking to her for a while. She knows a lot about me already. I'm not gonna do this. And then yeah, we spent the weekend together. At the end, my roommate Chris told her, that I liked her, but I was cool with just being friends. And I lost my train of thought.
But it was more than just friends.
Yeah, everyone saw it coming. And yeah, so I left the room. He told her that I liked her. I came out and everyone was just staring at me, and I was like, oh no, I left her alone with Jewel and Chris.
Uh-huh.
I had a feeling. I'm like, I left them alone for 2 minutes. And then, yeah, Chris was like, I told her that you liked her, but you're cool with just being friends if she doesn't feel the same way. And I was like,
dude!
I threw her car keys at her because her car keys were hanging over mine, and I had to go pick up my friend Hannah. And I ran out. I ran out of the house and into my car, and she was like, what do I do now? But she ran after me, and then I was like, so I guess you know now. And then she's like, why didn't you tell me this before? I've liked you since we started talking. And I was like, I don't know, man. I thought I was in the friend zone. Yeah, it was great. Like,
So
really
talk about the things you did together and the things that made you happy being with her. And
Oh, she was like the perfect level of clinginess for me because I'm a very clingy person. Not gonna lie. So our clinginess matched, and it was fantastic because I always felt loved. She always reminded me that she loves me. She always supported me in everything I do. Like when I had to quit my job, I was terrified because I've been trying for months because it was such a mentally draining job. And she was like, you know what? You got this. If you want to quit your job,
can you talk about what you were doing, please?
Oh yeah, I worked at a psychiatric residential home, but I loved it. I loved the clients. They were terrific people. It was just not a healthy place for me to work at the time. Because I was also going through like DBT for my borderline personality disorder and stuff. And I I started even losing hair, like clumps of my hair.
Yeah,
because of it.
From what you've told me, the ownership was not supportive at all of anything.
No, it was a very toxic place. But so she was like, you know what, just quit your job and we'll work through it.
Right.
And so I did, and I'm doing a lot better now.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, and we would watch movies. Well, we would try to watch movies. Like we would just end up talking through them all. So we've never actually fully completed a movie because we would just talk and just talk about whatever. I could be myself. I could be gross around her. There was no judgment whatsoever between us.
Yeah. Well,
it was great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we keep talking in the past tense, and yeah. So let's talk about the reason why we're talking in the past tense.
Oh, okay.
If we can, just brief, as much as you're comfortable on talking about.
I will get emotional. I'm already emotional, but
yeah. If you want me to talk, I'll talk as much as I can. If you get too emotional.
Okay. On April 1st of this year, I got a message about from her saying that she was having extremely negative thoughts that were really bad. And we were in a sense long distance. We lived about 3 hours away from each other. And she was at work at the time, so I couldn't just go to her. I didn't know how to help her, and I was like, you know what? She'll get out of work and she'll call me, because she always called me whenever she was going to work and from work. It was our thing. So she called me. She was crying, and sorry.
If you need to take a break, let me know. I'll cut your camera.
She said, "I love you and thank you." I knew what that meant instantly. So I called her best friend. I was like, you need to go to her right now, because I can't, there's no way for me to get down. But you need to be with her. And she tried calling, but she wasn't answering her phone. So I ended up calling her dad, which was a lot of issues in itself, because he wasn't very supportive of it.
You don't have to go into detail. Please don't go into detail. Just I'll finish it. The fact is that she took her life that day.
Yeah. That night I went down there. Actually, I met up with my parents at the halfway point because I couldn't drive because I was shaking, and the whole time for 3 weeks after that, I held a letter that she wrote me for Valentine's Day. I would sleep with it. The only time it wasn't in my hand was when I was showering. I haven't taken off the ring that she gave me. I still wear the necklace, but unfortunately I'm allergic to the chain. And I also made this. It's a really creepy tiny turtle.
Can you show it really close to the camera? I'd like to have everyone see that really closely. It's a little turtle that Black Moon actually embossed it in what is it?
Resin.
Resin, yes.
Yeah, the last weekend she was here. Oh, it was the best weekend we've had. Yeah. We went to Michael's because she broke the chain off the necklace I'm wearing originally, so we had to buy a new one. And she found the tiny turtle at Michael's, and the whole time she was like, "Tiny turtle," and showed everybody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "That's my girl." And then yeah, it was just great because that weekend, we had the house to ourselves, and we were like, let's, so we watched some movies. We ended up slow dancing that night, and I was singing to her Hannah Montana. Aww. Show me how to slow dance, and it was just a great moment for me. And I was like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And then, the night everything happened, we were literally talking about her engagement ring because I wanted to propose. As you know, we were planning for it.
Yes, we were.
And, that night before, we were talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, to add my 2 cents, me and her also talked on our own, and she was actually talking about getting into better shape, and she had asked my advice on workouts and such because she wanted to build muscle, because she wanted to take you down.
That doesn't surprise me. We were very, very, very competitive against each other.
Yes.
Our quote was even after every phone call, we would say, "I love you always and forever," and then we would be like, "I win," and then hang up, because we were like, most couples are like, "You hang up first." No, you hang up first. We were like, let's see who can hang up first and win. So it'd be like, "I love you always and forever. I win." Beep.
Yeah. Yeah, with us, with me and your grandmother, it's "I love you more." No, I love you more. No, I love you more. And we keep going on and on.
We're like, our relationship's already like a gay Hallmark movie. Let's not make it any more cheesy, because we were very, especially because we were both clingy, we were both very, very cheesy. Like, we went to the store, we bought something, and we were like, I don't know, being a little affectionate, like holding hands, and I always rubbed her back because when she had anxiety, and just stuff like that. And
all the things couples do for each other when they care about each other. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And then we paid and we left. We had to go back the next day. And then the cashier was like, "Weren't you here yesterday?" And we were like, Yeah. And she's like, I remember because you guys were all acting lovey-dovey and shit. And I was like, eh. And we just laughed. It was great. We were like a gay Hallmark movie.
Nothing wrong with
Actually, we are like a Hallmark movie because, it ended in a tragedy.
Yes.
Also, if I do make some bad jokes, I apologize. She also had a very dark sense of humor, and it's a way of coping.
Of course. No
Like,
worries
I
about
make
that.
really bad jokes all the time, and sometimes, like the one joke, I'm like, we always talk about who wins, and I'm like, she won this one, and I'm like, who would be laughing at that?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You need to get some. You got to remember the good times. Even through the tragedies, you got to remember the good times. I said that right there. That's so healthy. That you said, oh, she's the ultimate winner.
Yeah,
With that,
she
no,
won the game
I
of
love
life.
that 100%. I really do. So yeah,
I
so
know she would be laughing
yes,
over that.
she is. I know she is.
Very, very dark sense of humor that even sometimes I can't cope with. Sometimes I'm like, "Do you want to talk?" And she's like, "I'm fine," and I'm like, "I love you." Just oh my god.
Yeah. So we'll remember the good times, and let's be honest. That's part of the reason why we are well for last week and now for the rest of June we are taking donations for the Trevor Project, which is an organization that helps the LGBT. I don't know where I got
Alphabet Mafia.
YGBT.
Alphabet
LGBT
Mafia.
youth, when they need help for when it comes to you know especially right now with COVID, that some of the youth are stuck at home with unsupportive family and
And
uh,
unfortunately, the suicide rates are a lot higher due to the pandemic.
right. So we want to help them as much as we can in her honor. Let's be honest, because that's if she had something like the Trevor Project to turn to,
Mm-hmm.
things may have been different. So yeah,
Oh, hi,
that's
Felix.
uh,
We're just talking about your mother. Come
so yeah. She's gonna bring her cat onto stream here. Yeah,
here. Yeah.
there's Felix.
Say hi, Felix. He's like, Mom, put me down.
So yeah, so that's why we're doing that charity. So yes, I said do command Trevor to donate. Um, is there are there any questions before we we'll do a final wrap up? But if there's any questions from the viewership,
He
please.
dropped down.
Um,
He didn't even say bye.
this we'll talk about the future. That we have our tradition when we can now. Our Blue Jay games. You know, was it three years in a row we went to the Pride?
Yeah, about 3 years in a row.
Yeah, 3 years in a row, and then COVID happened. So last year we couldn't. This year we can't.
But,
Next year it looks
sometimes
like it's looking promising.
I hope because Pride Parade is also canceled and Pride's always fun.
Okay, so you got a question. How do you feel you are coping at this time, and are you able to tread well enough?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like some days are better than others. Oh, I gotta fix my mic here. I'm still trying to cope. Some days are better than others. Some days I just want to cry all the time. Some days I feel like I can't cry. And some days I'm like, you know what? She's here with me right now, probably laughing at the stupid stuff I've been doing. Or she's probably, if she's a ghost and she's probably like, why are you doing what you were doing? You look weird. Because, sometimes I just do weird stuff around my house.
But she wouldn't care. She'd laugh right at you.
She would. She really would. She was weird herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read all the letters that she gave me. Talk to her every night, and every Tuesday I sing the song "Snowman" by Sia because for some reason she loved it when I sang that song. I think it's because I can I don't know. I guess I sing it well.
So how do you occupy
Um,
yourself to keep you on the righteous path?
I just keep on doing me. I look forward to the summer a lot. That's been keeping me sane because I'm like, I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be doing all the swimming I want. Sun is always healthy. It does boost serotonin.
Yeah.
And I surround myself by honestly talking to people and playing games with them. Like I'm constantly gaming with my friends and stuff because that keeps my mind not from racing. Or if I'm by myself or people are in bed, I grab my guitar and I just start playing like songs, especially a few specific songs. For some reason, I've been really into what's it called? It's by Lord Huron. The Night We Met.
Okay. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's from 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, okay. That's why.
But that song speaks to me, especially about the current stakes. That's how I took the lyrics.
Okay. Are you close with your other
Yeah.
family members, or did all your issues distance yourself from them?
Um, I have a very, I wouldn't say complicated relationship with my family. Like I'm very very close with my family. I have a lot of support that I'm very lucky and grateful for. But because of mental health and having our issues, there's been times where we have distanced ourselves from everybody. Or I used to fight with my mom constantly. Oh my god.
Blew me with the rate of 28. Oh my god.
Hello. Wow. Jeez.
Thank you so much, Bloomy.
Wow.
All right, I'll repeat the question for the people who just joined us. We're talking with Black Moon here. She's talking about her life. Talking about
I don't know.
said you'd have to go back on the VOD later to see the rest of it. But we're talking about her issues with alcohol, drug abuse, her PTSD. No, I always say bipolar. That's not right. That's borderline
Yeah,
personality
borderline
disorder.
personality disorder.
And then the deaths in her life and suicidal thoughts that she's had in the past. Right now, we're near the end, and we're talking about the question was is she close with other family members, or did all of her issues distance herself?
Yeah, like I was saying, I am close with my family. I'm very close with them. I actually game with my parents quite frequently because I do live a couple hours away from them, so I don't see them as often as I would like to. So my mom, she will be like, "Hey, do you want to play Cold War?" or something, and we would game, and that's how we bond because that's all I typically do is I just game and read or play music.
Right. And then, of course, you got me, which
Yeah.
you pretty much talk to me every day.
Yeah, I'm just honestly kind of bad at responding sometimes. I get distracted a lot.
No, and that's fine. But we have that connection that
Yeah,
we know what each other is going through. Thank you
exactly.
for the follow, Ian the boss. Thank you.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
that was my
I've
phone.
got the alerts covered up with this red shit, so it's not coming up. It's
I
going
will
very
say
well,
that.
Bloomy. Thank you very much. So this is our Twitch talk. This is the fourth of our series that we're doing. We're talking with Black Moon, who I said uh, she's the singer here of Days of Restoration. She's our vice
La
president.
la la la.
I, I'm going to end the stream later with her rendition of Hallelujah that she did.
Oh, I thought you actually want.
No,
Oh,
no,
oh,
the
okay.
video that you gave me.
Oh, and hello, Jewel. I was talking about you earlier about how you have supported me through all my trauma.
So if you have any questions for Black Moon at all, anyone that knows her or doesn't, who wants to know more about um, uh, helping LGBT youth, about her singing career, about Days of Inspiration. Oh,
So you got a question.
Bloom Mod has followed. Thank you, Bloom Mod. We talk about. I said we're talking about suicide and deaths that have happened in our lives, in your life. Um, yeah, we're just nearing the end. We're just in the question portion. So if anyone has any questions, um, I know it's very awkward.
There's a question.
Is there a question? Oh, have you ever thought of healthier alternatives to keep yourself take it back? Help yourself take yourself back, I guess.
Um, I have. I've been trying to speak with some, professionals. It's just been a little hard due to the pandemic. And I know that I need that extra support. Like I do need therapy. I know that possibly to get back on medication. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to get back into exercising when the beaches are like, swimmable in because I love swimming. It's so healthy. It keeps me active because other than that, I probably would just stay at home because I don't have a lot of motivation to really do anything. So I used to go to the gym, but I can't
COVID,
at the moment.
COVID's closed all the gyms, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and
But
any athletic activity, pretty much.
And I do eventually want to get back into softball. Probably not competitive again because softball players can be a little toxic, but like a beer league, they're more chill. And I think that would be beneficial. Because, there's no competition, but in the end, people are like, we're family, let's all drink together.
Well, like on The Simpsons, a keg at first base, a keg at second base, a keg at third base.
I am a first baseman, so a whole keg for me? Okay.
No, that's for the runners, the base runners.
That's not fair. I feel like you want to be on camera again?
I don't know, Superman. Third base. Anyway, it's an old joke. Sorry, what Superman's doing. Anyway, so yeah, looking forward. Said you want to work with LGBT youth. We were talking about that. That's sort of your goal at this time. When you any plans of going back to school? Because you were in school there after you graduated. You went back to school.
I did go back to school after I graduated from Sheridan, but due to personal reasons, because I was in that relationship with someone who wasn't in the same country.
Right.
So
The toxic relationship we talked about earlier, yes.
Yeah, so I ended up dropping out of college, to be able to find a full-time job to support them for when they, immigrate here. But that didn't happen.
You're still looking to get into that field. So sorry, yeah. Would you think about going back?
Maybe not child and youth specifically. I haven't really, I do want to go get my psychology degree because even if I'm like a therapist for youth, that would be great. I think that would be a wonderful career choice for me.
I think so too, because I know at your young age you've helped me in some of the issues I've had. You have a good insight when it comes to other people. Unfortunately, sometimes yourself you can't see it, and that's part of the issue. I can give you good advice, you can give me good advice, but each other we can't help each other.
I was thinking about that today. Actually, I was thinking about that because I was helping my friend because they just lost someone, and I was like, you know what? I can help you. I've been through, the whole grieving process more than I would like.
Right.
But here are some things, and here's what grief is like. And I was like, I'm giving this great advice, and I cannot take it for myself. I'm a mess sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So that's a great pursuit to do. I know that's always been your mindset is to help other people. I know that from a young age, and so that I look forward to your future endeavors, and the future is bright for you. I really believe that. Through that and through your singing, we will have more Days of Inspiration live events, and you'll be singing there, and you'll be helping me with that. And one day I expect you to take it over when I'm too old to handle it. and
Oh, of course.
have it go on and on and on forever. As far as
Just
I'm
gotta learn
concerned.
how to, get out of that bubble I'm in of, the anxiety of being social.
Of course, which will all come in time, of course.
Yeah.
Any other questions while we have that? While we have a moment, we have about I'd say about 15 minutes left if need be. Yeah, well, the way my knees are, I don't know. I'm feeling old there, Sonny.
Yeah, baby girl.
Yeah, but no, we're working on things to uh, thing. And as I said, all of the raiders that came in, we are taking donations for the Trevor project. You have the donation thing there up on the screen now. They help the LGBT youth have a safe, accepting, and inclusive environment that they may not have at home right now. So yeah,
Excuse me, sir. Oh no.
if you can please donate.
You can please not shove your butt in my
Okay, so
face.
Superman has the question of what do you have planned for the near future, and are you planning any large projects for yourself?
Ow. Right now I'm focused on streaming. That's what enjoy doing. I guess that's my biggest project at the moment. Eventually, I do want to save up enough money and open up a homeless shelter for LGBT youth. Because again, a lot of them, go through some stuff and they end up not having a place to go to. At least this way too, then they have somewhere to go and somewhere they can feel safe and just be who they are. And that's what I want for the world is just for people to be who they are and not, have all the hate that goes around. Okay. That was a given because DOI it's gonna go somewhere. It's gonna be big, and I do believe that. I truly do.
And we were also talking about uh, early last month that we were talking about the the home for people who need emotional support with animals.
Yes. So we briefly talked about that. We want to eventually open up a place in Megan's honor of a place where people can go that if they want to talk to someone's always going to be there. We want to have like emotional support animals. So if they want to come, they're feeling a little down, and they want to be like, hey, I want to go pet some dogs. They can go and pet some dogs if they want to, and they can stay as long as they want. And if they want to talk to someone, they totally can.
But you see, if it wouldn't be Megan if it was just dogs. So we have to have dogs, cats, geckos, lizards, snakes.
Horses.
Uh, well, horses are a bit expensive. I'm talking about the mice.
Hey, reptiles. Okay, she was a huge reptile person.
Yeah, that's why I said
Huge.
gecko, lizard,
They're costly. They're
snakes.
expensive.
Yes.
She was still around, and we got a place. I would be a reptile mom to like. So I just heard Jewel being like, she was a horse girl. She hated when we called her horse girl, but she was a horse girl.
Yeah, I know. No, that's okay. No, I know her immediate goals are for that, and I like right now. Like I said, I'm the head. She's the helper. So no, I don't. As far as Days of Inspiration goes, I know she's there for me. She still has to learn the ropes and everything. So her immediate plan that's much further in the future. She has more immediate plans for her future before she has to worry about leading Days of Inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, and Megan had like 9 snakes, so I get that. They're so cute, but I told her, I'm like, you cannot feed them in front of me because I have a pet rat. That's traumatizing to poor Ricardo. If he sees like a mouse getting eaten by a snake, I would be traumatized because I'm like, I have a pet rat. That's traumatizing to me.
Yes. Well, I think we're gonna wrap things up. Thank you so much, Black Moon, for your time.
Thank you
Uh,
for having me.
like I said, the Days of Inspiration will be coming to a town near you once COVID is all clear. Unfortunately, in Canada, we're still basically in lockdown, so we can't travel at all. Um, and But once we're able to, I said the first place we're going to be visiting is I'm trying to Fayetteville / Fort Bragg area of North Carolina. That would be the first one. It's in conjunction with the third speaker we had, Brittany Larson. That's where she lives, and she owns a gym there that we're going to be doing through her. Uh, it's going to be a huge event. We're going to have music, we're going to have DJs, we're going to have food trucks, we're going to have all sorts of different speakers, not just for inspiration, but for workouts, for diet, nutrition. Like it's going to be a whole weekend event. So stay tuned for that. We will once we have that information available, we will have it on our Discord and Twitter and Twitch and Facebook and Instagram and all those other fun social media places we have. So yeah, until then, as I said, Black Moon is our singer. We will sing, and while uh, to close out, I am going to play her. I won't let her. I won't expect her to do it live.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't good. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, I do have her video of her singing the song Hallelujah that is originally done by Leonard Cohen, but has since been done by Jeff Buckley and Katie Lang, among others. And I will play that for you right now before we go. Once I have it set up, because I wasn't prepared. Go figure.
I also wasn't prepared.
I wanted. We've been advertising you as a singer, so I thought we had to have you as have at least something of you singing here.
I don't know what happened. Oh God.
You did this well, so don't worry.
Oh no, my hair is just not cooperating at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just stabbing myself in the eye.
Okay, so here we go.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I don't know why I went so high at the end.
It was really good, though. And I'm sure the rest of the stream will tell me the same thing as well.
Yeah, I thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. Wow, you look really spooky at the moment.
So, perfect time for you to go play Faz.
Oh God.
Or Friday the 13th.
Still.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming in. Thank you, Black Moon, for coming in. Our next Twitch talk will be 2 weeks today, June 15th. She's laughing about something. I don't know what.
Oh, because apparently my lip sync was really off. And I was like, on my end, I was on beat. But for the stream, apparently was not.
That's okay. I know. I could see it. But anyway, the next event will be in 2 weeks. Our next talk, which the interviewer becomes the interviewee, where I will be the one that is the subject of the interview, and our good friend Ann Mackey will be the conductor of the interview. So please look forward to that. This 2 weeks from today, June the 15th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on special time on June 29th will be a young lady by the name of Iris Davis. She is a 77-year-old bodybuilder. And she was one of the very first women bodybuilders in the world. Like, she actually had to compete against men when she first started because there was no women's division. She is an incredible woman, and we're going to be doing that at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. British summer time, because she is of Irish descent, and we want to make sure that the people of Britain get to see her in prime time. So June 15th would be me, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and on June 29th, Iris Davis, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. British summertime. So thank you again, Black Moon, for coming in, and thank you all for tuning in. And
Thank you, everybody.
We will see you for our next Twitch Talk in 2 weeks, and you'll probably see me on stream tomorrow afternoon, as usual. So you want to say goodbye in your traditional way?
Adios, everybody. Peace.
And so long.
Yeah, that's where we turn it off.
And